that down, let's move on to this, shall we? You know, there's been a lot of talk and questions lately surrounding things like, particularly the Batman 2. You know, a lot of talk going on. Production Weekly, we discussed this about a week or two ago. Production Weekly listed upcoming production of the movie, but did not have Matt Reeves listed as director, which had a lot of people talking about, will he actually direct the film or not? Of course, as we mentioned on our show, we said that could have just been an oversight on their part, but we'll see what happens with that. But also, you know, yesterday we discussed the fact that DC just announced who the 4 pillar characters of their DC universe are going to be. It's going to be obviously the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, but also Supergirl, which was interesting because they listed Wonder Woman, and yet we have no information about Wonder Woman or where that movie is or if it's going to come. Well, James Gunn is probably one of the most active social media guys who's a studio head in the business. And he was asked by people about those two things, about whether or not we're going to get any updates on the Batman 2 or on Wonder Woman. And he kind of hinted that we could be getting news here pretty soon. For example, James Gunn says there's encouraging updates on Matt Reeves' The Batman 2. Now, you can't read it here, but somebody asked him, has there been any encouraging updates on The Batman 2? To which James Gunn just said simply, yes. So, yes, that's coming. And then, on top of that, he was actually asked on social media about the status of Wonder Woman, to which he said the following. Among the comments about the recent released Superman official trailer, one fan asked James Gunn, do you have any updates on Wonder Woman? The filmmaker gave a positive response teasing, not to be shared publicly yet, but yes, encouraging. All right. So where does this kind of leave us? I think there are two things that are clear and apparent. Number one, despite what some people have thought and doubted, there is going to be the Batman 2. I think even without whatever the update is going to be, James Gunn just responding in the positive there, I believe that tells us that this is a movie that's happening. Now, whether it's happening with Matt Reeves directing it, or just working off a script that he wrote or whatever, whether Matt's going to be available to do the movie or not, all that is remaining to be seen. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. My position on that has always been, obviously we would love Matt Reeves to direct it, but, you know, there have been a lot of examples of once the director has set up that world and got everything in motion, that there have been some great success stories of another director coming in. You pointed out, Rob, George Lucas did not direct The Empire Strikes Back, for example, and others like that. So I think that's fine. And I think, if anything, it just kind of reconfirms to me and affirms to me that we are going to get the Batman 2. So that's good. And I might be stretching here a bit, Rob, but when he says, oh yes, there's encouraging developments, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to guess that we have our Wonder Woman. I think he's cast Wonder Woman. I really do. I think they've got a script. I think they've cast their Wonder Woman. And when he says, not quite ready to be announced publicly yet, but yes, it's coming. I think Comic-Con. I think Comic-Con, which we are only just a couple. I think right now, Rob, my theory is that James Gunn right now wants all attention to be on Superman.
Yeah.
That's the movie that's coming. That's where he wants the conversation to revolve around. That's what they're trying to build up the hype and the buzz for. He's going to keep it all there. But just 1 month after Superman is Comic-Con. James Gunn loves Comic-Con. And I'm thinking at Comic-Con in July, we are going to get finally solid, concrete, updated information about where everything's going with the Batman. And I think it's going to be that it is happening, that it is going into production, all that kind of stuff. But I'm also guessing with them now coming out and publicly saying Wonder Woman is one of the cornerstone characters of this new universe, I think we're going to get a full-blown Wonder Woman kind of announcement at Comic-Con as well. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. What a great time to be a sports fan. Basketball playoffs are on. Hockey playoffs are on. It is the perfect time to jump into the action with PrizePicks, the easiest and most fun way to turn your sports knowledge into real winnings. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made really simple. Just pick more or less on a few player projections, like points, assists, goals, and you can win up to 2,000 times your money. For example, this week I've got Jalen Brunson for more than 24.5 points, or Jason Tatum for more than 6.5 rebounds. I love how fast and easy it is to lock in a lineup in just under a minute. Plus, they've got a couple of weekly features, like, for example, Flex Friday. If your lineup doesn't win, you get your net losses back in promo funds. And every Tuesday, check out Taco Tuesday for discounted player projections up to 25% off. So download the app today and use the code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Campea to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game. Anyway, Rob, you hear James Gunn's comments here. What's your takeaway, and where does that give you a sense of where things are going?
Well, I think what you just said is absolutely true about keeping everything focused on Superman, but Supergirl has wrapped principal photography. It's now in post, and the Lanterns series has been going on. It's been in production for quite a while. Peacemaker is wrapped, so they don't have a film going into production right now. And I think that they're going to want to do that. And I think clearly there won't be another production going into or starting. There won't be another film starting production for at least probably 6 months, maybe. And of course, we'll have to see, but they want to.
Well, that's Clayface too. Clayface, they got to get up and rolling.
Yeah. There's Clayface as well, but they, I guess that's being rewritten. But if they get that going, but I think that's kind of an adjunct movie. I see that as like the B-list movie, whereas they're big characters. They got to keep the momentum going. So I would imagine absolutely at Comic-Con, there's going to be, I think they're going to come into Comic-Con as conquering heroes, because Superman will have opened, and hopefully the fan base will be galvanized, and they'll do a big presentation. They'll probably bring in Miss Alcott. Is it Millie Alcott?
Millie Alcott, right?
Yeah. She will come to, I'm sure she will come to Comic-Con, and they will present something, probably with Jason Momoa. I can imagine seeing that happen. And, yeah, I think definitely Comic-Con, but this is all very encouraging. I mean, again, I'm really curious because they've planned this out. You know, they're moving forward. Maybe they'll have to change up their plans, but they really have purpose. And you know me, John, I love authorship, and I love to see purpose behind the movies. And I love it when filmmakers get to realize their vision. And I really feel like that was why Andor was so successful. Tony Gilroy was able to make the show he wanted to make. And I love it when filmmakers, especially when they're working within the bounds of an IP, when they can bring us something that feels fully realized. And if nothing else, that's why I'm most curious about seeing Superman and seeing Supergirl and Wonder Woman and Batman in this universe, because we're going to be getting exactly what they wanted us to get. And that's exciting.
You know what? You're talking about momentum. We also can't forget that, Ray, look, when does Peacemaker drop? They announced the release. Is it August or September, or I can't remember, but we got Peacemaker season 2 coming as well to keep that momentum going. So do we got a date for that?
I'm looking.
August 21st. So we're going to have Superman come out in June, Comic-Con in July, and then in August, Peacemaker comes out, and that first trailer for Peacemaker.
And that'll be at Comic-Con too.
Yeah, they're going to have John Cena will come out in the full Peacemaker garb. Of that, I have no doubt. Like, I don't know. So and by the way, it needs to be mentioned, there has been no official word. It's too early, but there hasn't been no official word whether DC is going to be at Comic-Con this year, but I assume they're going to be. They have way too much riding on things right now. So it's coming. And by the way, I was thinking that Superman came out in June. It comes out in July.
Yeah.
It comes out in July. So it's not a month after that happens. It's just days literally after that. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this? James Gunn says they've got movement on both the Batman 2 and on Wonder Woman. Announcements are coming. Do you think they're going to announce some stuff before Superman comes out? I don't think they will. I think they're going to wait till after Superman and Comic-Con. Whatever you guys think and whatever you think those announcements might be, jump down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.